Hello and welcome along to Adobe Muse Basics with your host Robert Smith. In this couple of videos we're going to create a very interesting scroll effect which is currently very popular on the web. So let's have a look how Muse approaches this. Let's see what I mean by scrolls. So I've got a page here that I've prepared earlier. I'm going to preview this page in the browser and it just looks like a normal web page except for this little animation here at the moment. But as I begin to scroll, you'll notice that the top line goes to the top and the bottom line goes that way, and the two smaller lines go left and right. Then all of a sudden a whole lot of badly drawn iPad caricatures come up like this and then start to fall back down again. And that's all done within the browser, and Muse is really good at doing that. So come on, let's get stuck in. I'll show you how to do that. First thing I've got here, if I go to my plan view, I've got a new page like this, which is exactly the same as the other one. Now look at the site properties or the page like this. You'll see that it's 1000 pixels by 5000 pixels, and it's always good to have a big number here so you've got a fair way to scroll. That's what it's all about. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is, rather than place a background image, I'm going to grab the rectangle tool and just draw a rectangle from the top left hand corner. It doesn't matter what size it is. Then I'm going to open up my transform box like this, and under W for width I'm going to type in 1000, and then for height I'm going to type in 5000 like that, which is the size of the site itself. Okay, when I click like that, you'll see I have this massive huge box. If I just zoom right out so you can see it, there it is there. Let's zoom back in again. Okay, and go back to the top. Make sure we're at the top like this so we can see our header. Okay, now I want this background image to take up the width of the browser, or as we like to say in web speak, 100% of the browser. So to do that, I'm going to make sure I've got that rectangle selected like that, and then I'm going to click on this little icon inside the transform box like that, and that will just open it up. Hard to see at the moment because there's no fill, so let's fix that. So I'm going to go to fill like this up here, and I'm going to add an image. Now the image I want is this building image. I'm going to open it like that and zoom out Apple minus so we can have a look at it. Now you'll notice that it doesn't take up much. It's a fairly large image, but it doesn't take up much of the background. So what I'm going to do is go back inside my fill, and here I'm going to scale to fill like that. And now we zoom back out, the image takes up the whole area, which is exactly what we want. Okay, great. Now let's make sure we're at the top. Let's start to add some content. Now the first thing I'll do is select the text tool like that and click and drag out a box. And inside that box I'm going to type welcome to scroll like that. It's a made up website. So I'm going to change the color to white up here, and the font I'm going to use Aquafina, which is one of these added web fonts which I've done in previous videos. I'm simply going to drag that. I'm using the shift and command key and the right angle bracket to do this, just to make it about that big. That's perhaps a bit too big. I'm also going to open up my text transform so I can center that. Very nice, that's what we want. Okay, and then I'll try and center it on the page using the fantastic smart guides that come up to tell you these sorts of things. Okay, then I'm going to click and drag out another box like this and type in central. Now again, I'm going to make it white so I can see it. This time I'm going to make it Lato, or Lato bold is good. And the same trick again, I'm just holding the shift command key and the right angle bracket. Just getting like that. Okay, now for color, I want to change the color. I'm going to make that a lightish orange like that, which is good. And looking really good. Okay, now there's some text. Now I need to add some more text. Let's have a look what I need to add. I need to add these two lines here. But Okay, rather than type them out in the other one, it's exactly the same process. I'll just copy these two, but before I do, I'm going to select this line of type like that and go to my motion scroll effects like that and turn the motion off, because if I cut and paste these lines with the motion applied, it'll take the motion with it. Now we want to put it on. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just going to copy those. You don't have to do that. You can just type this in. I'm just going to paste those in like that. And there's another line I need to copy, so I'll go in there, I'll copy this line of type. It's exactly the same procedure. Just drag out a box and type in what you want. So I'll go back to this one and I'll paste that in as well. Looking good. I'm getting my content together. Okay, I need to place a few other things. First of all, I'm going to place an image, so file, place like this. And the image I want is the dog. So I'll open that and click and place like that and place it up here. Now I'm going to place what's called an Edge Animate OAM file, just for the practice of it. So I click on place like this. If you do any work in Edge Animate, which I must recommend, it's fantastic, it publishes things like this, a thing called an OAM file, and there it is. So I'm going to click open like that, and it's exactly the same as an image. Just place it where you want it to be, about there like that. Okay, I just might move this down a little bit just to neaten it up, and this down a little bit, and line this up with here, and move this across a little bit. Okay, so there's our basic setup for our the beginning of our page. Let's just check that out. Preview that in a browser and see what it looks like. Fantastic. Okay, and when it starts to scroll, you'll notice it scrolls like you would expect, just like that. Okay, now except for these things aren't scrolling, but that will be explained in the next video. And here's that Edge Animate animation, a very underwhelming animation, I must admit, but just to test that if you do work, do anything in Edge Animate, save it as an OAM file and you can place it right inside your Muse project. Okay, see you in the next video.